and welcome to today's class. In this video, we'll be treating the structure of government. Basically, we know that there are three arms of government. And what are they? The executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. So we'll be looking at their various functions and their works, who are they, and their various functions. So let's start with the executive. So who are the executive? The executive is the arm of government that is responsible for executing and implementing the law. It is the arm of government responsible for executing and implementing the law. They execute and implement the law. Now, the executive consists of who and who? Okay, so let's look at the executive. The executive consists of at the federal level, you find out that the executive consists of the president, at the state level, the governor. Are we together? At the local government level, the chairman. And then all ministries, the civil service. So when you talk about civil service, you're talking about all ministry of education, ministry of health, ministry of science and technology, ministry of transportation, all ministries. Then you also have what again? The police. It also consists of the police. So these are what makes up the executive. They also consist of the police. It doesn't consist of the army. Please take note. Okay. Now, what are the functions of the executive? So let's look at the functions of the executive. Now, the functions of the executive include policy formulation. The executive is responsible for formulation of policy. For example, in Nigeria, there was a time the executive said that every citizen of Nigeria should have an 11 digit known as NIN. So everybody went about getting their words, their NIN. Even you that is about to write Jamb, you must have your NIN before you be able to register for Jamb. That is example of what? Policy formulation. 2, appointment of top officials. Anything that has to do with appointment of top officials is handled by who? The executive. 3, declaration of war. It is the function of the executive to declare war against something or war on something. 4, ceremonial functions. The executive it is the function of the executive to undergo ceremonial functions. Ceremonial functions is like representation of a state in another state. For example, maybe UN is having a meeting. Someone will go, maybe you call the person an ambassador, will go and represent Nigeria in UN. Or maybe the queen's child is having a wedding and Nigeria was invited. Someone will go from Nigeria as an ambassador or whoever to represent Nigeria. That's what referred to as ceremonial functions. Okay, quasi-judiciary. Quasi-judiciary is power to pardon. Power to pardon. That is what we refer to as quasi-judiciary. It is the work of the executive to pardon people. Usually, every year when a state, like in Nigeria, every year when Nigeria celebrates her independence, the judiciary, that is the executive, will usually go to the prison and release some prisoners and tell them to go. Even the governors of states do it. When they celebrate the creation of their state, they tell the people, some prisoners to go. They free them to go. That is what we refer to as what? Power or quasi-judiciary. Another thing the executive does is budgeting. The executive is responsible for handling budgets, the budgeting of the year. Then assent. Assent means appending of signature to a bill to make it to become a law. it is the function of the executive to append signature to a bill, and once the signature has been appended, it automatically becomes a law. Then it is the function of the executive to maintain law and order in the society. Okay, so all these are functions of the executive. Quickly put them down, pen them down, and so we'll move over to the legislature.